أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين وهو خير ناصر ومعين الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. قال الله الحكيم في كتابه المبين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا فكشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, as my previous discussion, we discussed about some of the diseases of the soul, and we started about a very important disease or worst kind of disease in a human life. Although today, in today's world, corona is the first disease, but that is for our body and for our physical life. And I discussed, according to the hadith of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam, that as for body there are various types of the situations and various circumstances. Similarly, for our soul, there are various situations. So we said there are 6 situations for our body, that sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's sick, another time there is dead body, then there is life for that, and then there's sleeping, we are awake sometimes, and the same kind of these situations are for our soul as well. And then we discussed about ghaflat and the meaning of ghaflat in the beginning, what it means that we say ghaflat. We become ghafil sometimes from very, very important things, like, for example, monotheism, tawheed, we are ghafil. Knowing about the Lord, we become ghafil, we are heedless. Sometimes we are heedless about the day of judgment. So this ghaflat is a kind of sickness that it's killing the human life, and it's taking to the point that it's going to be died. That means a soul that is completely dead soul, and that is the reason that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam, when he said mautur ruh mautuha jahluha, when soul does not know anything, when our mind does not have knowledge, then this is a point that the soul is going to be a dead soul. So we need to have knowledge. Today we would like to discuss about what are the secrets, what's the reasons for ghaflat, and how it increases in our life, how we become ghafil. What are those important roots for the ghaflat? One of them is the most important secret of the ghaflat, or root of the ghaflat, is being considered as wanting more in our life. Sometimes this desire of asking more and liking more about this world, and we being inclined to this world. Sometimes we are too much inclined to this world, and that is one of the reasons that when we really want more and more, and we would like to have more and more in everything, and we become inclined to the worldly affairs, this is the point that human being becomes ghafil. And our Mawla Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam also have said that the time that you really taste the sweetness of this world, this is the time that you will become ghafil as well. And this is the time when this world is going to be deceiving you. And in Dua Kumail, we read, خَدَعَتْنِ الدُّنْيَا بِغُرُورِهَا, this world has deceived me. So there is a deception of the world, and it deceives the human being when human being becomes more involved and engaged in this world. So we have to be careful that this dunya and deception of this world are really important. So what it means, does it mean that we have to leave this world and go somewhere else? No. We should be living in this world, because this world is actually a field for the other world, or it can be a step towards the next world. We are not supposed to leave this world, but we live in this world for hereafter. That means whatever we do in this world, we have to do for hereafter. So then we will be actually more inclined towards the other world. When we do everything for the sake of this world, even sometimes some religious things maybe that are for the objective of this world, to achieve this world and worldly affairs, and for our worldly benefits, many times, and not necessarily that only some of the things that are considered worldly, that are something to do with other than religion. No, sometimes, maybe everything, it can be for two purposes. Sometimes religious activities are for the purpose of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and another time it can be for the sake of ourselves, for our benefits. When we do for our benefits, that is worldly, because our desires and our havas, it's not going to remain. It is going to be finished on the day of judgment, and we will be leaving from this world without all these desires that we have, desires of this world. Second is also been said, at-takathur, that can be also said this, in the same meaning that Quran has said, alhaakumut takathur, that wanting plenty has made you amused. Sometimes we are amused from this world, and it makes a kind of amusement that we start enjoying. And when we enjoy this world, this is the time of deception, and this is the time that it's going to bite us, and that is the time that mankind would be forgetting about the other world. At-takathur is surah as well. So there are two terms that Quran has used. One is term of Kauthar, and second is term of At-takathur. There is a major difference between that. Kauthar is a blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showers to the mu'mineen, and takathur is something that we would like to have, that we have more desires and would like to have plenty in this world. Plenty of the land, for example, plenty houses, plenty cars. So we would like to have plenty in our world. That is called takathur. It's a kind of desire, as you know, at the moment, many world powers also, they would like to take over many countries. They would like to take them under their control, and they would like to have all human beings, they are following them. And this kind of takathur, isti'mar and istithmar, are actually part of takathur as well. So this takathur is going to be a reason, and it's going to be a root for the ghaflat. Third, and an important root for the ghaflat is being said that when we have more desires in our life. There are two types of desire, that sometimes wanting something from outside, from this world, and sometimes desires of soul. Havas, when it becomes increased, then person becomes ghafil as well. So we would like to eat more. Sometimes, keep looking at what are the hotels, what hotels have best food. Then in the evening, we would like to gather more food. In the morning also, we would like to get more food and food. So when it becomes a kind of situation, Psalm and fasting, it has come that it wanted to make us patient, not to make us impatient, that we lose our patience when it comes the time of iftar. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked in the hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, that when you like to break your fast, then be easy. Say, Allahumma inna laka sumna wa ala rizqika aftarna. Pray over there and then break your fast. Don't, rush to do breaking the fast. Yes, if somebody is really in a very difficult situation, then there's no problem. They can break their fast without dua as well. It's just recommended. But as long as if you can do, then be patient and do dua. And with dua, you break your fast, and then you can start eating. In eating also, we have to be moderate. We should not be kind of people that we would like to have a lot more, that we increase our weight during the month of Ramadan. This should not be our situation. But in month of Ramadan, we have to be the people, those who can be more healthy for rest of the year. We are actually collecting our provision during this year, this month, that we can live longer in the upcoming year. Fourth reason can be wasting. One of the things that I really wanted to, advise my brothers and sisters, that month of Ramadan is not month of israf. Before that, when there were masajid open and Hussainiyas, unfortunately, we used to do israf over there in Hussainiyas. And Quran has said, "Kulu washrabu wala tusrifu." Islam is a balanced religion. In everything, we should have a balance, a kind of balance, that we live with this balance, that we should not be people those who waste in their life. Wasting can be various types of the wasting. Sometimes wasting resources, sometimes wasting the water, sometimes there can be wasting the time. We keep sitting, we are doing nothing. And this is something that I said before as well, that sometimes when I speak to youth and then you ask them, what are you doing? Very interesting that you must have experienced as well, that they would say that nothing. So this nothing has no value. We are not in this world for nothing. We are here for some other important reasons, for important objectives. So we should not be wasting in this world, but we have to be the people, those who can produce in this world. We can work for our objectives and move forward. So this israf itself, it's going to make us ghafil. When we, put a lot of food in front of us on a food table, and then a little bit, we can eat a little bit, we can't eat more than that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a limit for every human being. And when we ate a little bit, then after that, there is no desire for that. And when we are not desireful for that, then rest of that, it's going to be wasted. And sometimes, it's been said, the news that the more we waste in these countries, especially in the Western countries, whatever food is wasted, if it's distributed in some of poor countries, or if it's been given to Africa, whole Africa would have been filled and people wouldn't have been hungry. We are believer brothers and sisters, and month of Ramadan is a month that we have to save our times, we have to save our food, and we should not be wasting. We should not waste anything, because innal mubaddirina ikhwanu shayateen. Quran has considered those who are waster as brothers to shaitan. They associate with shaitan. It is shaitan who wasted everything. He wasted his life, and now he's wasting his efforts because he's standing against the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is very important, that we have to make our life balanced. As religion of Islam is a balanced religion. In eating, we have to be balanced. In wearing garments, we have to be balanced. In buying things, we have to be balanced. But if we lose our balance, then it's going to cause that ghaflat, that it's a disease, and it's going to take over our life, and then we will become ignorant, and we will not be able to be aware of ourselves. Because when you forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means you forgot everything. You forgot yourself. That is why Quran has said, when you forget Allah, that is the point, you forgot yourself. It's not, forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we are creation of Almighty Allah, and we should be living under His mercy, and we have to be connected in this world with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We forgot Him, that means we forgot our roots. We have forgotten Almighty Allah, that means we've forgotten ourselves. That is why sometimes Amirul Mu'mineen, when he wanted to say about recognizing the Lord, he said, Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbah. Whosoever recognized the Lord, if he likes to recognize his Lord, he should be recognizing himself. So very easy way to recognize Almighty is to recognize yourself. And fifth reason that has been said, it's waswas shaitan. That means some of the conspiracies of shaitan. Shaitan has its own conspiracies, and it conspires. There are sometimes inspirations and sometimes conspiracies. Inspiration, it comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspires our souls, and we receive many inspirations from Almighty Allah. Sometimes when we really like to do any good deed, I like to pray sometime, I like to recite dua. This is inspiration. It comes in our mind, and when we are inspired by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to thank Allah. Thanking Allah, that means whatever our mind is saying, we should be doing that. If it's asking to do something good deed, then we need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given us opportunity, that I have been able to do that. If you delay any good deed, that is going to be a point that you will become ghafil. That is why sometimes Quran has said, "Sari'u ila maghfiratin min rabbikum," that hasten towards good deeds, hasten towards forgiveness of Almighty. My dear brothers and sisters, this is the month of Ramadan, and the second Ashra that is started. It is narrated that first Ashra is 10 days of Rahman and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second Ashra is Ashra of Maghfirah and forgiveness. So now we are in this Ashra and 10 days that are 10 days of Maghfirah. And we need to seek Maghfirah. Sari'u ila maghfiratin min rabbik. Any sources that you can achieve forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is important. We have to ask Allah during this month. And when your mind is ready, one of the things that if you like to, increase your love with recitation of Quran, or with du'as, with munajat, with nafila, the best way is that you start slowly and gradually. And wherever your heart is asking and mind is accepting, then you do nafila. When you are tired and you feel that you don't want to do nafila, then try not to do that. When you really like to do that, and especially when you recite Quran, then also recite a little bit, that slowly and gradually you can build that love with Quran, and it is going to come that you will really love with Quran. So I was saying that there is inspiration that comes from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there is conspiracy that is being from shaitan, and that conspiracy is being called waswasa. Shaitan is going to be conspiring in our mind. And when shaitan can make this conspiracy, when we give him a place that it can enter inside the haram of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-qalbu haram Allah. Do not let this shaitan come to this haram of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we actually invite him to come. And then he comes to this haram of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he takes over, and slowly he starts seeding inside our hearts. And when shaitan has made his conspiracy, that is the time of ghaflat, because he wants to increase this ghaflat in our life. He does not want us to be in the state of dhakir, as Quran has said that wadkuruni fadkuruni adkurkum, you remember upon me and I will remember you. This remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the state of dhikr, and this remembrance is going to decrease ghafla. And as much as person becomes dhakir, that means recites Quran, recites du'as, he lives in the state of dhikr. So it does not mean that you have to keep tasbih and all the time you have to be in masjid, for example. No. Wherever you are, in every business that you are, in all businesses, you need to remember Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is how we can live in the state of dhikr. And living in the state of dhikr is one of the quality of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ. These are the people, those who used to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while they were standing, sitting. And can you put this wire, please? It's batteries. I'm sorry, just a minute. that let me, put that my phone on charge. So what I was saying that it's quality of Ahlul Bayt Salam that they used to live in the state of dhikr. يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا. They used to live in the state of dhikr in all the situations. And when a human being becomes a dhakir, at that time he would be able to enjoy that life of dhikr and come out of this ghaflat. And finally, when we like to look at this ghaflat, what a worst role it plays in our life, that the Quran has said, وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ, that we have prepared this fire of hell for most of the people, those who are from jinn, and most of them those who are from human being. So these are the qualities that Quran has said. These are their situation. لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا. They have their heart and mind, but they do not think with that. وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا. Although they have their eyesight, but they don't look with these eyesights. وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. And they have their hearing, but they don't listen with that. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. Quran has said these are the people, those who are like animals. بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. Not only just like animals, but they are worse than animals. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. So see, at the end, the Quran has concluded with that these are the people that actually, they are completely ghafil. So you like to see significance of the ghafil, you need to go to Quran and look at Quran, that if we do not use sight, that we can see the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we do not hear ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you do not speak with what it is right, then definitely we become ghafil. And Quran has said, hum kal an'am, they are like animals or worse than animals. So if we like to live a life of human being according to Quran, so Quran does not consider everybody as human being. It's like dead bodies, or sometimes animals are walking around. And with hadith that it's been said from our sixth Imam Jafar al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, when he appeared in the Hajj, and Abu Basir, by looking at the gathering, he said that it's amazing, there are many people, plenty of people in Hajj. And Imam said that Ma aktarul zajij walaysa aktarul hajij. Don't say that there are a lot more hajis, but say that there are many animals. And he was surprised, and he said, how you can say Ya Rasulullah? Imam said, if you look with my eyes. And then he had shown him that what is the situation of people. So sometimes when we are ghafil, ghaflat makes us worse than animals, that we get out of this state of humanity. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah bless us during this month of Ramadan, that we can understand and we can become in the state of dhikr, and we can get out of this ghaflat. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab al-Husayn. Allahumma عجل لوليك الفرج واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عاجبين إن شاء الله مولانا. تشكر.
نواصل في أمان الله.
تقبل الله أعمالكم إن شاء الله.